Welcome to the AdSense Flippers Podcast. Are you sick and tired of gurus who have plenty of ideas but are short on substance? Worried that ebook you bought for $17.95 won't bring you the personal and financial freedom you long for? Hey, you're not alone. Join thousands of others in their pursuit of niche profits without the bullshit. Straight from your hosts, Justin and Joe of AdSense Flippers.
Welcome to episode 12 of the AdSense Flippers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Cook, and I've got my business partner extraordinaire here as well, Joe Magnotti. What's up, buddy?
Hello, everybody.
We've got a great show lined up for you this week. First, we're going to go over some updates and news, a new gadget I've been playing with a little bit. The heart of this week's episode is all about the fourth wave of internet marketing and what that means for your business. And then finally, we're going to go over some tips and some tricks, some things we want to talk to you about and ask for your feedback on. So we got a great episode lined up. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, buddy, 3 new iTunes reviews, right?
Yeah, 3 new iTunes reviews, 3 5-star iTunes reviews, I should say. They're great, man. First one's from BJ Max, says, love the podcast. If you're looking for a ton of info on building profitable niche websites, this is the podcast to listen to. Stu says, these guys are the real deal. They talk about problems and success of running their business. In the content, they cover both high-level subjects and they also go into details. Love this podcast. It isn't a sales pitch for a class or a book, and you can tell from their enthusiasm they enjoy doing this. Thank you, Stu. Thanks you, BJ. Got another one from Tom. I love this podcast because you two are out there with all your information, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'd say the business is good, you're bad, and I'm ugly. What do you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, man, really excited to be on this episode. Let's talk a little bit about the flip auction we had last week. How'd that go?
Unbelievable. Everything was up and sold within 3 hours of putting the auction out there.
I felt guilty, man, because we sent out an email, and I didn't want to send it out to everyone. I was like, just the people that opened like the last one that were showing some interest in buying, and I sent it out, and like within a few hours, it was snatched up.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking, hey, I'll be able to email all the people who have been emailing me, asking when we're going to put sites up, and at least point them to an auction they could bid on and they could have a little fun with, but no, that thing was snapped up quick.
Anyway, not complaining, very happy with it, so thank you to the buyer. The other thing we want to talk about, I got my Kindle Fire. I've had it for a while now, a little over a month. It's kind of hot, man. I thought it wasn't going to be something I was going to use. It was one of those tablets where it sounds cool, and then like 6 weeks later, it's like hidden in the closet, but we get some use out of it, man. Monopoly. Download Monopoly. Loving it, dude.
I had as you know, I had a tablet for a few months and I sold it just because I didn't think it was worth it. Personally, I think between a really good smartphone and a really good laptop, there's just no room for a tablet in your life.
The games, man. It's bad. I know, whatever. You should be learning. You should be earning. You should be whatever. I like playing a little bit of games. Monopoly, I'm a fan. So another good bit of information we have coming out, the Lifestyle Business Podcast guys are on their way. They're going to be here Thursday night, right? Yeah,
we're going to take them out to dinner, show them around. We'll have a fun planned weekend with the guys.
Yeah, they can check out all the new entrepreneurs here in Davao, get to talk with them a little bit. I think that'd be really exciting. Hopefully we can actually sit down and do a couple of recordings or something, either for their show or ours. Anyway, we're big fans of the LBP. Just want to give LBP a little props. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Dan and Ian, can't wait to see you guys.
Also, we've got a new and improved end-to-end guide we're working on, our intern's working on actually, that he's going to be writing up for us. We've been going over the process step by step, detail by detail, and he's been documenting everything. So we're going to have a really clear, concise guide that we can hand out here within the next week to 2 weeks. And I think that'll be really helpful for some of our listeners and readers, and we'll be giving that out to everybody.
Yeah, the last bit of training was today, and that's why John is not on the podcast today. He's chained to the desk, getting all the documentation and the video casting done, so that should be a really good, I'm looking forward to seeing his work.
That guy's working feverishly, man. Last weekend we tried to get him out. We were, come on, man, come have a couple of beers with us. He's like, okay. A couple hours later, he's like, I don't know, man, I need to get back. I got to do some work tomorrow. Like, come on, you're with us. Let's go. I got to encourage the work habit. I don't want to discourage him from getting stuff done.
Yeah, positive work habits. Let's enforce that first.
Last thing we want to cover is we had an idea and we wanted to ask you guys what your thoughts are on it. You know, we're not really big fans of info products. We were thinking that we could create basically a business in a box. So we sell a batch of niche websites that are earning, and along with those earnings, a fully detailed plan, videos, interviews with experts about how to build those sites out, how to basically buy a site and flip it and make it worth more later, and then additionally do some interviews or some phone calls with us to where you can ask lots of questions. We can kind of go over the process and really help step someone through it. The idea is that we're turning over not just websites that are earning, but an actual business model. And I was thinking that might be interesting. It'd be a higher priced item, so we put more price on it because of some of the info that goes along with it, but it'd also be consulting and it'd also be actual earning sites. So please let us know in the show notes if that's something you're interested in.
I have to say, I'm not convinced. I want to stay away from any sort of selling of information, but we would give some hardcore consulting in this, and we'd probably give some sort of service or other product to add value to the package. So we would like to hear feedback from you guys, but don't worry, we're not getting into the ebook business.
Yeah,
promise.
Promise that's not going to happen. But it solves a business problem of ours where our sites are growing so quickly. If we can slow that down but add more value and get a higher price tag on our stuff, that seems to be a smart move. So anyway, something to think about.
So last thing we got to mention here, Justin, is we got a new auction going out this week. 13 sites, unlucky 13, I don't like that number, but a good group of sites. We did a lot of research, took us a few hours to put the package together, and I think just like the 20 sites we offered last week, good starter package or a good package for someone that wants diversification, that kind of thing.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't well ranked. So anyone who has some SEO skills or the abilities to get them on the first page could make a ton of money, but they're earning as is. They're earning where they're ranked and with the long tail key phrases and everything. So definitely check that out. We don't have a buy it now on it now, but we'll probably add one here in the near future, so you'll be able to snatch that up. Anyway, let's get right into the heart of this week's episode.
The AdSense Flippers Podcast.
So the heart of this week's episode is all about an interesting post we saw on Tropical MBA, and it talked about the 3 waves of internet marketing and how we may be moving into the 4th wave. It gave us a lot of love actually on the post about AdSense Flippers and some of the stuff we're doing. And so we want to talk briefly about kind of what it covered, and we'll link to it in the show notes so you can check it out for yourself. But then we also want to talk about kind of what we're doing and where we see it going.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, for mentioning us as usual, and we just wanted to expand on your theory and talk about it here.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, basically the whole idea is a change from selling the dream to actually selling a business. Now, I'd say where we're at right now is definitely selling the mini businesses, but we'll get more into that, I think, in the 5th part. So we basically have 5 parts we want to cover here. The first part is just kind of explaining the idea. So there are 4 waves in internet marketing, and the first wave is basically about business opportunity gurus.
Yeah, business opportunity gurus, they're heavily scripted, highly tuned sales letters and paywalls. These guys, they're out there selling the dream, right?
Yeah, they're selling the dream at mass market. So these are the guys that would come out with a huge product launch and do $1 million in 24 hours. That was the first wave of internet marketing. It kind of moved though into like the social media sales masters. They have like the motivational tips and kind of like broad concepts. Their big thing and how they make money is selling seminars or coaching sessions, right? So they would charge a pretty high dollar amount for the coaching, but give out some pretty good information for you to get from and learn from.
Yeah, and there's the third wave of transparent business, completely open with success, failure, and income associated. Everything. And they make their money usually through affiliate offers and duplicating their success.
Yeah, I like the third wave. I mean, that's really something that we learned a lot from guys like Niche Pursuits and Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income. They've done a fantastic job of like just really laying it out there and being open about their success, open about what's working, what's not, and very, very helpful for those of us that are trying to make it, trying to get our blogs up and running, trying to get our sites up and running. So it's been really fantastic. The fourth wave is talking about basically creating positive cash flow mini businesses and then selling those businesses to investors, business owners, or other aspiring entrepreneurs. And I didn't really think of what we were doing that way. I just thought of it as selling sites. And Dan has kind of impressed that upon us, which I thought was pretty interesting. And we'll get into more about like how this can be expanded in the future. But that's the basic idea of the post. That's what the fourth wave of internet marketing is all about. Selling these businesses and taking potentially equity stake for mentoring or investments in these businesses.
Yeah, it allows people to take the first step in making money online by having a successful business already, not by trying to buy the dream or buy the instructions to the dream or read about the dream, but you can actually have the dream for a price.
So in the second part, let's specifically talk about the trends from phase 1 to phase 4.
Okay, so the first trend we're talking about is going from general to specialized, right? And we're no longer talking about the mass market approach, nor do we want to. These jack of all trades type of do everything kind of well is not what the fourth wave is about. It's about being specialized and being an expert at what you do.
Yeah, the be everything to everyone approach has to be like highly scripted, has to be playing both sides, and the specialization part of it doesn't have to be that way. You can talk to your audience specifically, the same people, they're doing the same things that you have the same interests, and makes it a lot easier actually, I think, than it does a mass market approach. The second trend to talk about is mystery versus transparency. There's been a move in internet marketing to be more open. It's like the news sales letter. It's like, here it is. I'm opening the kimono. I'm pulling it back and I'm showing you everything. And I think people like that. It's definitely more authentic. It's definitely more approachable. It's definitely more something that you can relate to. I think that's why it's really important. We're not trying to convince people to pay to get to our real content. I think that was one of the problems before, is that it's like, look, I'll give you a little bit, I'll give you a tidbit, but then I'm gonna make you pay to get to the really good stuff. One of the problems with that is that some of the people will pay to get to the good stuff and then take that content, steal it from you, and offer it away for free anyway.
Yeah, and then also you don't really know if the good stuff is worth the payment, right? I mean, if you give away that stuff for free, then obviously you can judge it on its own merits.
Yeah, and you can judge one person to another because you know exactly what's going on. Now, one of the worst things are the people that are taking advantage of that by claiming to be out there and open and honest and not. But it's really hard to tell, right? It's really hard to tell online, who is and who isn't. I think the best way to get past that is to not only look at their income claims or reports, but look at the actionable information they put out. Does it make sense? Does it work in my market? Does it help me grow my business? If it does, then it's probably legitimate. The third point is, it used to be difficult to get followers, and it's much easier to get followers in the fourth wave. The reason for that is previously people would have to pay to get users, pay to get followers. But when you're specialized, when you're niche, right, you're talking about the same stuff that people really want to know about, right? You have a connection and you're able to build tribes that way by really focusing in on what is important to you and being specific to your niche.
Yeah, and I would say the next thing we need to think about is most content was behind a paywall before, like we were talking about, and now that content's free. So this is not because it's a kumbaya, let's, be goody-goody and give everything away. We're actually probably going to make more money that way.
Yeah, it's not a Boy Scout approach. It's not I just want to, give the world our content for free, give everything away. We're doing it strategically because we know that ultimately it's a better approach. Ultimately, we know we can make more money out of it. And I think other people are starting to realize that as well. That's really exciting for me because I'd hate to be the man behind the curtain, right? The guy who says, okay, here's some stuff, here's the money we make. If you just buy my $15 ebook, I'll show you the secrets too.
Yeah, and then it makes your ideas more flexible too. I mean, if you put something out there on the site, you better either be able to back it up or you better be able to change your mind and go with something that's better should evidence point to contradictory evidence. The next thing we will talk about is value is going from intangible to measurable. And this is very important when selling sites, right? If you're selling a dream, if you're selling some ebook, if you're selling just instructions on how to do stuff, it's hard to put a price on that. Is that worth $47, $9, $247, or $2,000? You don't know. But if I sell you a site that makes money, it's very easy for us to put an amount on that.
And now we can debate the price, right? And there's between the buyer and seller, but it's worth something for sure because it earns.
Yeah, there's some yardstick, right, to measure that by.
And I think that's one of the problems like lifestyle design bloggers is they talk about, you can live this life, you can live it your way, you can travel and go do this, that, and the other, but they're not actually delivering anything for them that makes that happen. Right, they tell them how amazing it is and how many nice things you could do, and they're kind of selling their what they'd like to be able to do and selling the dream, but there's nothing behind it that actually makes anyone money. And I think that's one of the differences between lifestyle design bloggers and people that sell products or people that sell services. So that pretty much sums up what the Tropical MBA post was all about. In this next part, we want to talk specifically about where it's at now, where the fourth wave is, and how we're a part of it. This is really new territory, and it's a less traveled path. There aren't a lot of people out there that are selling profitable income earners to others and showing them exactly how to do it. It's really interesting and it's fun to be a part of.
Right. There's not many competitors out there, but there's plenty of industries that are ripe to focus this type of model on.
Yeah, I mean, here's something to consider too, is that we're doing it specifically with AdSense and niche sites, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, we'll cover that on the next part, but yeah, there's definitely other things that you could do, and it's similar type of model to what we do at AdSense Flippers.
Yeah, I think this is particularly useful in the internet marketing industry because there are a lot of frustrated and dejected internet marketers, right? I mean, there's a lot of hocus pocus and there's a lot of crap out there to where you're just like, oh my God, I'm so done. I've tried this, I've done that. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the jokers.
Yeah, we were reading a forum out there and they were really beating out some of the make money online people.
Yeah, that's worth checking out. If you're looking to buy or sell sites, it's worth checking out. It's experience-people.net. Definitely something you should check out. We just started looking at it ourselves, but it's got some really good information in there.
Yeah, I like some of the threads over there, but yeah, they are definitely not high on the make money online crowd.
But a lot of people are, and I think a lot of internet marketers are, and a lot of people that actually make money get frustrated with it as well, right? It's kind of this unspoken thing where we're all that way. And I think we should speak up a bit more. We should say, look, this isn't good for our industry. We should stop. I mean, we should move past that so that we can be a legitimate, niche. We can be a legitimate industry in and of ourselves. I mean, there's millions of people doing this. There's billions of dollars. We should legitimize it a bit, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in the fourth wave, this allows you to follow the same marketing model with something you know really, really well. But there are going to be limitations, right? It has to be something that earns, and it has to be something that's transferable.
Yeah, it can't be information. It can't be an idea. It can't be a particular roadmap or something. It has to be something that's making money.
Right. So it can't be something like juggling.
Yeah, juggling's not transferable. I can't sell you my juggling skill. I can sell you an ebook on how to juggle. Hopefully you'll follow it and figure it out. But my actual skill can't do that. I wish we had that ability. Just zap something from my head to yours. Boom, you can juggle 5 balls. That'd be cool, but...
Right, so in the fourth wave, if I'm selling some sort of online business in the fourth wave, it can't be a book about juggling. It has to be more like an app development site, where you already had the designers, the programmers, and all that staff, and all you did was you made little app development businesses, and you sold those businesses off. That would be an example.
Well, that takes us right into where we think the fourth wave is going, Joe. I think this is important, that there are a bunch of industries that are ripe for this type of model, right? I mean, you mentioned app development, but you can also do the same thing, the exact same model with something like affiliate sites, right?
Yeah, affiliate sites I think would be a very repeatable, a very transferable, and obviously an earning type of business that you could sell.
Yeah, if you know how to do that, if you know how to make affiliate sites, give the exact information away for free. Show people that you know how to do it, tell them how much you're making, and then sell those affiliate sites and help them so that they can do it too.
Right. And the same thing can be said about content generation sites, private blog networks, physical product sites. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and we should put a couple of these in the show notes. But yeah, any of those kind of earning but transferable sites that you can create in a matter of months and bringing up to actual revenue generating potential is something you could sell online.
Yeah, the two ones we really talked about a bit privately off the podcast were private blog networks. I mean, there's a ton of people out there looking to get into private blog networks. I mean, Build My Rank right now is shut off. They're not taking new members because they're building out their blogs, right? So there's a bunch of people that underserved there right now. Physical product sites, I mean, some people are not the IMers, they're not the info product stuff either, but they love to sell something like cat furniture or some other random niche that they're interested in, right? It's something, maybe they have cat, something that they like to do, and they could sell product sites. So if you could sell them these product sites that are real businesses, help them continue growing them. I mean, selling websites isn't new, but actually laying out the model for free on exactly how to build them, sell them, and replicate that is new.
Yeah, and currently the market here is very simple, right? I mean, simple AdSense sites, simple affiliate sites. Why couldn't it be more?
Yeah, couldn't we go into for example, like a major local search site? Why can't you show a way for free to build those types of sites, get some traffic, get some interest there, and then sell those off and flip them, help other people build these like small community sites, like geo-targeted sites?
Yeah, I think the cycle would be a lot longer, Justin, and you'd have to manage cash flow and the business a lot better, but it's absolutely doable, and I think the marketing approach, the same approach that we've used with AdSense Flippers, works very well with that.
For example, let's say I live in Sacramento, right, and I happen to work at a furniture store, I'm familiar with furniture. I can build a site all around furniture for Sacramento. I know it best, I can get into that, and then I can start repeating it for other cities and then show other people how to do that, then maybe break into things other than furniture, right? I mean, that's a way you could do it locally.
Right, and you could sell those sites that you've created for each city as a local furniture store to people as a revenue earning business, online business.
Well, another thing you could do, like outsourcing companies, right? I mean, we have an outsourcing company. We absolutely know how to build outsourcing companies. We know how to set up businesses in the Philippines. We know how to sign up everyone for all the services that are needed. We could do that over and over again, talk about it, and sell those off to other people. I mean, that's something we could do right now, but we're pretty focused on what we're doing. So, I mean, but there are lots of open opportunities out there right now for people to take advantage of. So what I think is really cool about this is that it'd be interesting to see if it goes from like fringe to mainstream.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about this because it is a bit more complicated than the normal build it, sell it, ship it kind of model.
Yeah, but it's so much more, I think, profitable and cool, especially for the internet marketing community, where I think a lot of people are yearning for something that's legit, right? Just straight up legit. This is good business.
And it's powerful too. It's hard to break that down. It's hard to copy that. If you become an authority in that particular niche, I mean, someone just can't steal your business.
And honestly, there's enough business to go around, right? There's plenty of business. So we're not even worried about that. We have other people that are making AdSense revenue, that are selling their sites. Good for them. You know, we link to them, we chat with them. We're going to have them on the podcast, and we think it's a good thing. And there's plenty of room for growth there. All right, Joe, so this is all well and good for us, but how does this apply to anyone that's listening, right? I mean, how can they actually take this information and make it actionable for them?
Well, okay. So if the AdSense Flippers model appeals to you, then you're in the fourth wave, right? You're wanting to build a business around it. You need to find something transferable and something earning in your life experience. So some skill that you have that fits those two characteristics.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, you have to be able to sell something that's earning and something that's transferable. And we've mentioned a few that we're kind of familiar with and might be a good fit for us, but it may not necessarily be a good fit for our listeners, our readers, that type of thing. And you guys are going to know best about that, what's good for you. The second thing I would say is to build your content around intermediates or advanced users in that industry, not the beginners. Right? I'll be completely honest with you. Most of our content, we try to go for the intermediates. We try to tell people things that are, they've been doing internet marketing for a while. They've done AdSense sites before, and they want a new process to try out, but they've been around the block a bit.
Yeah, my mom listened to the podcast, and she goes, "Oh, it's so cute, but I have no idea what you guys are talking about."
Yeah, what do you mean AdSense? Honestly, I don't want to answer those questions. I don't want to deal with like really basic questions. And what's cool is a lot of the emails or a lot of the questions we get on our blog, the comments, are kind of cool. I mean, they're interesting. They're a little more advanced. You don't have to go basic. You don't have to go beginner. I can't imagine. Can you imagine if we had like 5 times the traffic and we were getting all basic questions from beginners?
Oh, it would be so boring. And then the other thing about advanced questions, though, too, that I really like is you learn something from it as well. Sometimes you have to look stuff up. Sometimes you have to research an answer, and you have to back up your answers with intelligible data.
Yeah, I want to work with business people, right? I want to work with the advanced people. I want to work with people that have some investment income.
Right.
I mean, a beginner I've got, $100 to spend. I want to get into this internet game thing. I don't know what's going on. Well, we don't really, that's not our gig, right? And I don't think it should be yours either. Because if you focus on those people, you might be able to get a little bit of money out of a lot of people. But a lot of those people are going to end up bailing out, and they're going to feel bad because it didn't work out for them, or they're going to blame themselves or you or whatever. If you're focusing on the intermediates and helping them achieve success, I mean, these people are actually going for it. They've committed to getting it done.
Right. And one thing don't make this mistake. Do not put your information behind a paywall. If you're going to be part of this fourth wave, you're going to try to make a AdSense Flippers style business, don't put all this critical information behind some paid membership site.
It's painful too, right, man? It's hard not to do because we're like, oh God, we got this, or we could put this out. What if we came up with this and we could charge for it? But no, I think we get so much more value out of making it free. Anytime we can make it free, free, we want to. We've been having discussions with some of our future projects on whether we should charge for it, because it's going to cost us some money. Some of these projects cost us $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in development, but we always keep coming back to how can we give this away to people? How can we make this real valuable stuff for people? And you should do the same thing. Be okay spending money, be okay investing in your business, because the trust and the stuff you get out of that is completely valuable and worthwhile.
Yeah, you need to think about other ways to monetize these items. And it doesn't have to be direct monetization, right, Justin? I mean, sometimes you build a brand. Sometimes you build value by putting these things out there.
So if I've got a job, right, and I'm working my job, but I've got some extra hours, why not build something that people really want? That's a real need out there for it. You see people talking about it on forums or whatever. Build it and give it away for free. Right? If you want to get your name out there, put up a blog, put up a few blog posts out there, really good actionable information, and then give it away for free, and people will start coming to you to get that piece. And they go, God, someone's so cool. They gave this away for free. That's awesome. They've got to have more stuff up their sleeve. I'm checking them out. Another thing I think is really important is talk about your successes and your failures. I mean, it's nice for internet marketers to talk about how much money they make and how they're living the dream, but anyone who's honest with you is going to tell you, well, we screw up too, and we've learned from those screw ups and we make mistakes, and sometimes they're big ones, but at least be honest about it, because the worst thing you can do in an industry that already has kind of a scammy feel to it is be scammy, right? That's the worst, and you can never get that trust back.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, is you can't get it back. Once you lose that, unfortunately, no one will ever trust you again. Not no one, but most people will never come back to you again.
I've seen people that have done that and tried to turn it around, and it kind of works, but for the rest of us, not happening.
One other thing here that I like a lot is sometimes the painful subjects can turn out to be the best content for your readers, your listeners, so you shouldn't shy away from that. And, we've had discussions about what to talk about and what not to, and it's always been the ones that we were kind of a little, should we talk about that? Those have been the most popular posts and the most popular podcasts.
It's scary though, man, when you put those out, you're like, oh God, I don't know. I really kind of donked this up, and now I'm going to tell everyone about it? That's embarrassing. But those are the ones that people really learn from, really appreciate, I think. And it's kind of a joke now between us. We're like, should we really put that out? Should we say that? And we're like, yep, we should. We absolutely should. And I think you should too, because people are going to really appreciate that and know that you're being sincere and kind of relate to you, because they're screwing up too, right? They're making mistakes as well. It's also important to be a real person. Right? I mean, a lot of people try to hide behind a username or try to hide behind their brand. Don't hide behind your brand. Be a person. Get on the phone. Talk to people. People like to connect with other people, right? They don't want to buy from a brand. You're not Nike, right? You're not Adidas. We're not Adidas. We understand that. It's Justin and Joe. Now we have AdSense Flippers and our brand is doing well, but it's us that's really driving it. And it should be you driving your brand, not the other way around.
Yeah, you should be looking for a connection. And the only way to do that when you're so small is that people have to know that it's a real person. So I wouldn't use pseudonyms. I wouldn't try to, like Justin said, use a big brand name or something like that. Make it honest, make it true, make it you.
Yeah, you see a lot of people talking about internet marketing, make it you. I love that, buddy. But I see a lot of people talking about internet marketing. Maybe I should have a fake name. Should I have a fake name? Should I use something different? I absolutely don't think so. Because if you have a fake name, I think it's even more tempting to do something you wouldn't stand behind. It's even more tempting to do something sleazy. And that's just not what our industry needs. And it's not good. You're not going to be doing good business if you do it that way. So that's it for the heart of this week's episode. Let's get right into our ninja marketing tips, tricks, and our plans for the future.
The AdSense Flippers Podcast continues.
All right, buddy, so you're up with our first ninja marketing tip. What you got, Joe?
The AdSense Dashboard is an Android app for phones and tablets. It lets you track your AdSense earnings and other statistics that are vital. It makes cool little graphs, and it has widgets and all that kind of stuff. It's from a guy named Gregory Block, who I worked on with I gave him some feature requests, some bug reports when the product was in its initial phases. And I really love it, and I think you should check it out, and it's free.
It's cool, man. I like it, but I am one of those guys that obsesses about stats and checking and rechecking. So it's one of those things where it's cool, I'll look at it, and then I got to put it away for a little while.
Yeah, well, the good thing is you could put this up on your little Android tablet, have it there on your desk, and you can kind of see your stats rolling in on a minute-by-minute basis if you like, without having to browse away on your computer.
Second tip I want to talk about was TED Talks. A lot of you are probably familiar with this, but TED is an invite-only conference where the best and the brightest in the world come to speak, to listen, and to network, basically. It's an amazing conference, definitely one of my life goals to go to one of those. I'd love to be there. Most amazingly, though, is that the videos are free. They're uploaded for free, so you can watch all these amazing people talk about really cool things on their website. I've gotten some great business ideas from there. I've learned about some great things that are going on in the world, and it helps you think about kind of where things are going, where business might be going, where different niches are going, and it helps you come up with ideas that may help you in your business. So we're excited to have some interviews coming up over the next few weeks that we are going to be putting up on the site, on the podcast, that type of thing. One of them is to be a follow-up with Chris Guthrie's interview with Pat, where he talked about how to buy websites, how not to get scammed, how to make sure you do your due diligence, that type of thing. And we thought we could do a great follow-up podcast interview with him about once you've bought those sites, how do you expand them? I think for our listeners and our readers, I think they'd be a fantastic value add, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking about buying and selling websites because that's half of what we do here, right? And we are the AdSense Flippers. So if we know the good selling techniques, obviously we can teach you as a buyer the techniques to look out for.
Yeah, and if we can go to the experts to get that done for you and give you the information you need, that would be helpful. Also, we want to build out some of our sites, right? I'd love to make them bigger earners. I'd love to turn a $40 site into a $200 a month site. So hopefully we can pick up some tips and use those as we continue to grow.
Yeah, so talking about interviews here, we are looking for some less known marketers, anybody with interesting stories out there, or anyone that you, the listener, would like to hear us talk to. Leave that in the comments section, and we'd love to know about it so we can get them on the show.
Yeah, I've been looking at it a lot lately. There's a ton of people that aren't very well known, aren't really out there, but are making money, that are crushing it, that are traveling around, that are living their lives, that are selling websites on Flippa, that are creating affiliate sites, and we'd love to get them on the show and kind of hear their perspective from the people that aren't the IMers, aren't pushing the affiliate stuff. You know what I mean? These guys are just kind of sitting behind the scenes and knocking it out, making everyone money, including themselves. So we'd love to have them on the show. We'll get back to you in the future about that and let you know how it's working out. Well, that is it for episode 12 of the AdSense Flippers podcast. Thanks for hanging with us. I really appreciate it. I think we had a great episode this week. We got another great one lined up next week. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at AdSense Flippers or Facebook.com/AdSense Flippers. We're on there as well. We'll be putting out some great links, some great information for you to check out that we've been interested in and we think you'll be interested in as well. So until next time, we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye, everybody.
You've been listening to the AdSense Flippers Podcast with Justin and Joe. Be sure to hit up AdSenseFlippers.com for more. That's AdSenseFlippers.com. Thanks for listening.